We have a long work with schools. I didn't have the chance to attend the morning meetings, but I think I have a different perspective, since I won't be speaking from the school perspective, but from the corporate perspective. I will be presenting CEIIA in a moment, but CEIIA is not a company. It's a not-for-profit. It's a an engineering center. I mean, just do applied research, not basic research. It was helpful for me because I work on the marketing and communication area, and basically there are three areas following this work with schools, which are communication, human resources, and also another area that we have that is called strategy and development, where we have all these agreements with schools and universities. Okay. CEIIA, I was telling you, CEIIA is an engineering and innovation center. We are about 260 people now. We are pretty recent. We have 9 years in the market. Our main areas are aeronautics, mobility, and we are starting now with oil and gas, so deep sea, so working at the ocean, since it's such an important economic research in Portugal. We are a reference in aeronautics and mobility. We work with the main players in these areas, like Embraer in Brazil, Augusto Westland, which is an Anglo-Italian helicopter OEM. That's aeronautics, but we also work with PSA, Renault, BMW, Volkswagen, and lots of companies in the automotive sector. And basically, we do everything that is related with engineering and product development, from concept, design, engineering, prototyping, engineering again, testing, homologation, up to small series. So we cover all the chain value of product development. Okay, we have this growth, which is impressive. In 2006, we started. We were, or they were, because I wasn't there, 20. Now we are 260 people. And we have, these are our main projects. We have teams working currently in France, UK, Italy, Brazil, and Portugal, but we also have projects. Yes, that's it. We have some other projects in Brazil, which is now the most relevant market for us. So we have a deep concern with corporate governance. We are members of the United Nations Global Compact, and between brackets, I inserted. We follow the United Nations Women's Empowerment Principles, and it's in brackets, not it's because it's not important, but because it's a program of the Global Compact. And I put it there because I'm going to speak about women and gender issues later. We are a partner of Transparency International, etc. So, what do we do? I saw that most presentations have a very structured focus about education and working with schools. We don't have, because it's not our mission. But since the beginning, we always had this openness to community. Okay. So, and what do we have? How do we work with schools? First, we have lots of field trips. This is a visit that we had last Tuesday, and I placed this picture specifically here because this is the professional school. All these are IT students. They are age 17 approximately, and they're all boys. Okay, there are two girls in the picture, which is my two colleagues, and the teacher who was a woman too. All the students are boys. Then we also have a lot of internships, and we have lots of possible models, from 1 day to 1 week shadow profiles. So last week we had a young kid, he was age 12 or 13, from the French, the Lycée Français, the French school in Porto, and during a week he was following a person. So he was watching everything that the person was doing during the day, and he was changing the roles just for him to know how it is to work how it is to work. Basically, at that stage, that's what's the most relevant. I have this picture. This was from late 2013. This boy designed a skate, and then he went to the workshop, because we have a large workshop. We do prototyping and all that stuff, and he had to produce his own skate. Okay, and then we have traineeships with universities at another level. So we have lots of projects, and I also inserted there the 1 week development projects. I will speak about that later because it's a project with Ciência Viva. We also support school projects. This is a project that was carried out yesterday. So this is a small Formula One-like car. It was a competition between schools, and this school asked us support to paint the car and to do some small things, mostly physical things. So we support schools usually in the region of Oporto because there were costs of transportation. So they went there, they worked with us, and we worked with them, and this was the final result. And we work with lots of universities. I think they're mostly focused on aged in students aged up to 18 years, but we have lots of internships and research programs with universities in master theses, PhD theses. These are some of references. Some of them are Portuguese, others are foreign universities. So, and now I'm moving to CEIIA Viva. So after having all this work with schools, last year we were approached by CEIIA Viva and we were proposed to develop some programs, and we developed 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think there are 3, but one of them it's a very small initiative. And basically, in the last summer, so summer 2014, we had a project which is called Scientific Occupation of Young People During the Summertime. And we proposed 7 subjects, but just 6 were picked by the students, which are these 6 subjects here. Between brackets, you have the number of students that participated in each of those subjects, okay? So we have 16 students, 8 boys, 8 girls, who were with us for a week. And during that week, they had a presentation about CEIIA, then they had theoretical following, and then they had to produce a final result. The final evaluation was 70% of the rates were good or excellent, so two people was not that happy. I think it's related with the extension of the program, because 1 week is really short, also because it was our first time. But all in all, I think that's a very positive result. Later, I think this was in October, we defined again with CEIIA Viva and the European Space Agency a program of lectures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 lectures. We proposed this to schools in the area of Oporto. Also, we got some invitations, proposals from schools from other areas, but it was difficult for us and for them to coordinate. So we have these lectures involving more than 500 students from the 4th, so age 9, 10 years, to the 12th grade, so age 17, 18 years. Which were very successful. I think you can see there they're really small. So I think this is a picture from the kids from the primary school, so aged 9, 10 years old. All the subjects were related with space, so space exploration, and the names are pretty inspiring. So a trip to Mars, International Space Station, we in space, rocket science, etc. And that's it. And then I have this slide about the cooperation that we have with a school in Porto. It's Colégio Luso-Francês, because I know there are lots of teachers here in the room. And at first, I agreed with Rosario that I was talking about this walkability program. But then I realized that there are much more interesting things to talk about. Because this walkability is a project. It's the 2nd year they're doing that. On the 1st year, they studied walkability quality around the schools in an area in Oporto called Amial. This year they are studying walkability in Ribeira, which is a World Heritage Area in central Oporto, which has lots of restrictions related with the heritage, etc. And we are supporting them. Basically, we have a consulting role. Anyway, this is not the most relevant. What I found out, because it's not a project from my department, because I called the teacher and my colleagues to speak with them, is that we have this CANSAT project that again involves CEIIA Viva and ESA, and basically CAN it's a lata in Portuguese, so uma lata de bebida. So they have a small satellite inside a can, and they have to launch it and then measure a lot of patterns. The national contest was last week, and apparently everything went perfect, but they didn't record the data. So they're not qualified for the European round. But it was so perfect that they were invited to organize the European round, which is very interesting. And as a result of all this work, the teacher told me that the students want to create a group to study and look after the questions of aerospace. So this is a case in which there are immediate results, not just inspirational and looking and promote science in the future, but also in the moment. So this is very, very positive. My final slide, it's because we are an engineering center, and we have less than 25% of women working there. And most women work on the communication, human resources, accounting departments. If you go to the engineering rooms, it's very hard to find women there. And the problem is not ours, because when we open vacancies, opportunities, you just have men applying. So basically you don't have women in engineering universities, so there are no women applying for jobs in engineering. And this is a problem. This is a problem for us, because we'd like to have women. And so I know that you're talking about STEM, so science, math, etc., but we need to introduce some sociology here. So we need to find out ways of promoting science, technology, engineering, math, whatever, among girls. So we need to have women in science. The figures in Portugal for researchers are not that bad in the European context. I was checking that yesterday. 45% of researchers in these areas in Portugal are women, more focused in some areas like biology than others, and not on the top of the careers yet, because in Portugal we are assisting to women basically invaded the university, invaded in the good sense, universities, and they are still junior, they're not senior. So I think that in a few years the panorama will be different, so the landscape will be different. Still, they're not coming out of universities in such large numbers that can come to the labor market. So this is my final and probably most important message, is that we have to increase the number of women and have a better gender balance in this area. So that's it. Thank you.
Because of this final slide, but in all the projects that you have with schools, you have girls attending those projects, for example, CANSAT, Science in Holidays?
Yeah, yes. The Science in Holidays, it was 50-50. Okay. There's 8 boys and 8 girls. About the CANSAT, it's a small group. It's 7. I'm not sure about if there are boys or girls. But I think it's a general problem. I selected the picture of the visit we had last Tuesday because it was an IT class of a professional school, and there were just boys. There wasn't a single girl. There were 20, 25, and there wasn't a single girl in the IT department. And we have a systems department. There are like 25, and they have electronics, all that. There is a couple of girls at most, because of course, if we have 100 applications and we have 4 girls, statistically, the best ones will be boys. I mean, you can have a girl, obviously, but if you have 95 boys and 5 girls, most likely you have better male candidates than female candidates. Okay.
How would you suggest that CEIIA could help changing this situation? Yes, or giving a different image, or how other institutions could promote this difference in attitude in girls. So getting them interested. They are all already interested in medicine, biology. What's the problem with engineering? It's they have to use their hands. So this is a cultural problem. They have role models. So would you say there should be more role models that could help girls think that engineering is also for them, or is it mathematics? I don't know if so.
Probably mathematics. There are lots of women. I think that's my perception. I don't have a clear answer. For us, it's really important. We have the human resources working on that, and we have our corporate governance department working on that as well. Our general manager is a woman, which is great, but usually she's alone in in the meeting rooms. All the rest are men. I think it's a cultural problem, and it's not only related with not only related with science. So it's pervasive. It's in many other areas, and it's not only Portuguese. It's not a Portuguese specific problem as well. I just think we have to address it. So this is like a challenge. I don't have answers. We try to have that. We try to promote. We try to select women, but obviously, if we have a male candidate which is better than a female, we have in the end of the day we need to have results. What we also feel is that we need to have diversity in our among our staff, and that diversity is a lot of things, but gender is a part of that as well. Probably have, I don't know, we have lots of projects, probably have some specific projects where we need to have quotas, because specific projects just for girls, I don't think they are relevant. But I think it's a subject that can be discussed later among others, because I think there are more perspectives here. I'm sure that other people face the same problems here, so I think
I don't know if the professional school with César and Sintra, if you have got the same problem, what would you say about that? Because you are in a professional school, and it's mostly boys.
Mm-hmm.
Our courses in the Escola Profissional de Almada are mainly courses in the area of engineering, electronics, automation, robotics, so on. So most students are in fact boys. We have a few girls. And I was joking here with César, telling that this is simple to understand, because if we think a little bit, little boys play with cars, little girls play with dolls. So it's a cultural matter.